Hi, and welcome to Dandy After Dark. If you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss a notification or a new episode. Tonight is the weekly True Crime and Chill. I'm doing this solo. Mr. Beckham had plans tonight, and I also have not done a live show with you guys for like 2 weeks, which is just crazy. So I have been super sick and I'm still getting over it. So today has been the best that my voice is back to normal, if you will, since those 2 weeks. So if it's still a little off, my apologies, but I'm just been super anxious to get back. And there has been a lot that has happened in the true crime world, and I want to talk about it with you guys. So I'm really excited to be back. And again, Happy New Year to everybody. We are now in 2025. There is a lot of exciting things coming up for Danny After Dark in 2025, like a lot of really exciting things. So stay tuned. We will get through that as the next few months kind of present themselves. Tomorrow, if you guys have not already seen, tomorrow night, there will be a live interview with author Tony Wright. I did a book review for him for his book on the Yuba County Five several months ago. And that has been one episode that a lot of you guys have still been messaging me about that book and about that case. I typically don't talk about unsolved cases on here. So that was one that you guys have been really interested in. So yeah, Tony will be on live tomorrow night. And I have a lot of questions for him about the book. And yeah, I hope you guys come with some questions as well. So I'm really excited for that. Before we jump into the week's current true crime news, let's see who we have here. We have Russell. Good to see you. Paul from the Paulcast, of course. Love your avatar. Yeah, remember, I'm the one that got you that shirt, by the way. So yes, plug to myself for that. Hey, PJ, good to see you. James Watson, hello. Let's see. Chris James, how you doing? Renee, good to see you. Capone, Tony Stewart, hello. K-Dog, welcome. Let's see. Beckham's plans, drunk behind a strip club. I mean, I don't want to, put him on blast with what his plans are for tonight, but I cannot confirm or deny that that's what he's doing tonight. I missed you guys too, Renee. Oh my gosh, that's so sweet. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Yeah. There were times where, Beckham can attest to this where I'm like, all right, let's plan for a show like 2 nights from now. And then I was just still so sick and like could barely speak. My voice was just horrible. So yeah, I tried. I specifically wore this top because I knew James Watson would comment on it. But yeah, I was just like, yeah, it's a fun top. It has been a few weeks since I've been on. Let's just go for it. Thank you, Tony. Missed you guys too. Missed you too. Even though you give me a hard time, missed you too. And I do have the door open for the cats. I did have some cats on there earlier, actually. They'll come and go as the night goes on. Let's see. Tony L. Welcome. And I just want to take a moment, Tony L, thank you for saying that. Our hearts do go out to all of Los Angeles's fire victims there. It has been incredibly sad to watch what has been happening. Absolutely horrible. I think maybe not even necessarily through like our personal lives, but even through, YouTube, there's just so many of you guys that are in California or close to, if not in that area. And, those who I know who are kind of near that area, I've been keeping in contact with just to make sure, by the whatever miracle that there is, that it doesn't, just keep spreading to their affected, to their areas so that those aren't affected. But oh my God, our hearts absolutely go out. Thank you for saying that, Tony. I am back. Yes, yes, yes. Cool Maze shirt. Thank you, PJ. Let's see. I just keep going down so I don't miss anything. Paulcast. Ugh. No, go for it. Tony, our relationship would not be what it is if you held back. Go for it. Normal night. Just because I still sound a little off and a little sick, I can handle it. I got you, boo. I got you. Paul is a dog person, but Paul does like cats. I can confirm Paul does like cats. He's just more of a dog person, but more so like a Bunga person. He's obsessed with his dog Bunga. But then again, like, who isn't? When I got to visit and meet Bunga, oh my gosh, love that dog. Love that dog. So, and it's just nice that Paul has some, another person I keep saying that, a dog in the household that will still give him the look of like, I don't want to put up with your shit. And that's what I love about Bunga. Still just like not interested in Paul. And I love it. Let's see. The Canadians need to learn from a national. Oh, Jesus Christ. Chris James, that is horrible. Oh my gosh, that is horrible. I'm so sorry to your friends for going through this. It's going to be a tough recovery for California. Absolutely. And it's just not even, it's so sad. So sad. Yes, you are right. You are absolutely right. Honestly, like, I don't know if it's like this where everybody is, who's watching, but at least here in New England, it just seems like it's just everybody's sick. Everybody has the same thing. And it was going around my office and I dodged it for a while, but it caught up. So yeah, lucky me, but that's okay. Renee, the fire chief roasted the mayor over cutting them. Yes, I heard that, Renee. I heard that. Yeah. Yep. It's K-Dog. The pictures they're so upsetting to see, but it's just such a reality of what's going on for the people in California. It's like, I don't even have the words. There are no words for what is going on. But so we do keep everybody in our thoughts, prayers, whatever you believe in, just, that everybody safe, make it through. And in regards to, property, it's like, it's one of those things where you kind of hear like, you don't want loss of life. You like, things can be rebuilt. It's horrible. It is absolutely horrible. It will take time. It will take money. It's just absolutely devastating. But first things first is we want people to stay safe. That is, at least for me, people stay safe. Yourselves, your family, your friends, your neighbors, your community members, your pets. Pets are a big thing too. And yeah, go from there. So everybody in LA, California, all of our thoughts are with you. Absolutely. Tony Stewart says flu, colds, COVID, norovirus going around. I'm masking everywhere. Yes, that Tony, what you just said right there. Yeah, one of my coworkers was just saying today that her doctor's office, sends like just a mass email telling everybody you need to mask up right now. Like, go back to masking up. And yeah, everything you just listed. Yep, it's going around everywhere. It's just, oh man. Capone, my company's other office is in LA. They keep closing that office and having people work from home if they can, and some of them are here in Vegas. Oh, Capone, I didn't know that. Wow. Oh gosh. Well, I hope all of your, your coworkers in the other LA office are okay, staying safe during this. Yes, PJ, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So I think I am caught up with the chat. Oh, let's see, Renee. New some hopes for the White House. Yeah, that's a whole conversation. Yeah, James, I saw that picture I saw that poster going around, picture going around online. Yeah. Okay, so I think I am caught up in the chat with everybody, but again, feel free to chat as we continue on. And for those who are watching but are not in the chat, thank you for joining. Feel free to jump in the chat at any time. We're a nice bunch, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. So where to begin? I'm going to start with Yolanda Saldivar. So if you are wondering where you might know that name, it is tied to Selena, the singer. So Yolanda Saldivar was the woman who killed singer Selena Quintanilla Perez. Well, she is officially filed for parole, and this is her first request for parole. On March 31st, 1995, just to take it back for those of you who are a little rusty on the case, at the Days Inn Motel in Corpus Christi, Texas, Yolanda shot and killed Selena. She was only 23 years old, Selena, when she passed away. Yolanda was sentenced on October 26th, 1995 to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 30 years. Yolanda is now 64 years old. So the parole process will entail a review of Yolanda's file, including letters of support and letters of protest. She will also be interviewed, and an entire summary package will be provided to a parole board to vote on. If she's denied parole, she'll be eligible for parole review again in the next 1 to 5 years. So that is the update on that. And I did make it a point to talk to Beckham about this case because, again, he is in Texas, and Selena was not only just so big, within the US and outside of the US, but especially in Texas. So I just kind of wanted to hear from him. What is there a buzz about this, especially about Yolanda? What's going on? For him, where he is in Texas, he said not so much. I wonder if that's, because so much time has passed and there's maybe a younger generation who don't really know who she is or aren't as familiar with her or her murder. But of course, Beckham's she was huge in Texas, which absolutely. But I'm curious, what do you guys think? Do you think Yolanda will get out on parole? My initial thought would be no. This is such a very high profile case, but of course, she has to go through the same process as everybody else. And I will say this has been one person, Yolanda is what I mean, where you don't hear much about her in the news in regards to her violating any prison rules or anything like that. There are some inmates who we kind of frequently hear about on the news, not naming names right now, but it's not surprising. There's just, they're always breaking the rules, or whatnot. Her, we haven't really heard about. So, and that would play in her favor if that is the case. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. K-Dog says, I watched a movie about this. Yes, there is the infamous movie where Jennifer Lopez plays Selena, if that's the movie that you're referring to, which I'm guessing that's the one. So let's see. I just want to make sure I get to your comments on this. So glad you're back. Plus your cats are back. I know. Tony Stewart, you're not even here for me and the channel. You're just here to watch my cats. I'm totally fine. James Watson, this chick, meaning Yolanda, should stay in prison where she is safe. That is one thought too. Yeah, there are some, when it comes to high profile cases, you never know with the public in regards to people taking justice into their own hands. We've seen that very recently. I don't condone it. I don't promote that, but it's sadly the world we live in. So you never know. Where James Watson, you could be absolutely right, where she would be safer in prison because at least she has, guards that can kind of keep an eye on her and kind of protect her, if you will. I don't know, but you make an excellent point. Let's see. You guys are still kind of talking back and forth about everything in LA. Please continue having that conversation. Absolutely. Just want to make sure I get to, K-Dog depends how she's done in prison. Yeah, absolutely. I have not heard anything, that, then again, when she was sentenced in 95, I was still young. So could there have been things that happened earlier on? Maybe that I just missed because I was just so young at that time. But it's been 30 years. So she is quite a file for the parole board to review. We'll see. Renee, we'll just let that comment. Yeah, not out of the realm of possibilities. I don't know where Linda is, but Linda, if you are watching, hope you are doing well. Please come back soon because 1, we all love and miss you, but 2, Russell is concerned. Who do we got? Looks like we got Selena in the back. Oh, Capone, we are talking about that next, so stay tuned. All right, so that's going on with Yolanda. I will keep you guys posted on that case. So moving on to, Capone. Thank you for that intro there. Bobby Bose. So in regards to the Charles Manson case, that is where you would most notably be able to remember the name Bobby Bose. So for those of you who are not familiar with the Manson case or Bobby Bose, I was like, it's so hard to even just wrap up kind of in a nutshell. So that would be one where I'd be like, do some work on your own, but nonetheless associated kind of, as society says, Manson family member. So what happened is Bobby Bose was found suitable for parole at a hearing that was held this week by the California Board of Parole Hearings. So Bobby is serving a term of 7 years to life for the 1969 murder of Gary Hinman. So Bobby has also been recommended for parole before in 2019. However, and this will come as no shock to anybody, Governor Gavin Newsom reversed that grant due to the heinous nature of the crime and Bobby's limited insight regarding it. He was also denied parole in 2020 and 2022, but Bobby successfully petitioned the Superior Court to vacate those hearings. So something to keep in mind, Bobby Bose is now 77 years old. So the most recent decision will undergo a review by the Board of Parole Hearings. Then it will be reviewed by Governor Gavin Newsom. He will be the one to ultimately confirm, reverse, modify, or take no action on the grant. The decision will be finalized no later than June 6th, 2025. So we do have 6 months to wait for this decision regarding if Bobby Bose will be let out on parole. I think it's safe to say, based on history, that a lot of the buzz is that Governor Gavin Newsom will basically halt that and basically reverse the decision so that Bobby will remain in prison. With that being said, we all know that just recently Leslie Van Houten has been released on parole, and no one has heard anything. There has been nothing going on in regards to Leslie. She has really kept a low profile, which is big time to her benefit because, there's nothing. As much as some people agreed or disagreed that she was released, she has stayed out of the spotlight, and that is the best. So I think that might have set a precedence now for, they're, the Manson family members, if you will, they're all older now. Again, Bobby's 77. How much of a risk to society do they pose? That's something that is to be considered. Also, again, the crime that they committed. So there's a lot to look over. We know before, Gavin Newsom has been very on top of not letting any Manson family member out. So I feel like this could, I hate to say go either way. I feel, for my personal opinion, 75% of me thinks Gavin Newsom will reverse it and say, no, you're not getting out. I think, and I'm only optimistic now because of Leslie getting out, keeping a low profile, not getting into trouble, not being in the papers, just really laying low. I think that could have set a precedence now. I don't know. So that's my only kind of, could he have a chance to get out? Maybe. But what do you guys think? I know this is obviously a case, the Manson case you don't necessarily talk about a lot over here. More so that is for over on the Paulcast channel. But what do you guys think? Let's see. Let me go back so I can see. Okay, K-Dog says, pardon him. Renee's Newsom is heinous. I mean, yeah, he is not well liked right now. That is for sure. I mean, he wasn't, I'm not from California, so I have a very outside looking in perspective. But yeah, he is not popular for any good reasons at the moment. That is for sure. K-Dog is saying Bobby Bose changed his story with the seasons. That is definitely to be pointed out. Capone, even if Bobby got out, I don't think that he would tell us the truth about what happened. So Capone, that actually brings up an excellent point. If Bobby was to get out, do we think that he would talk to the media and kind of set the record straight, or give any type of interview? Or do you think he would just really kind of follow in Leslie's footsteps, just really laying low, out of the spotlight, so on and so forth? With Leslie, I was expecting her to stay kind of out of the spotlight. With Bobby, I'm not sure, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I don't know, he's very much had a performer background and lifestyle, and I kind of wonder if that would kind of make him a little bit more comfortable being in front of a camera, or in front of, just being out in the public, not even necessarily being out holding press conferences and doing interviews, but just being spotted out in public, where Leslie's always kept kind of a low profile. So I don't know, Capone. But good question. Definitely a good question. If Newsom's political career ends over this fire stuff, he may act like Biden and go scorched earth and pardon a bunch of people. I don't think so, but that's not out of the realm of possibilities. I mean, but the first part that would not surprise me. Let's see. So Capone, in regards to Bobby, I think, though, he has a fair chance because he doesn't have Sharon Tate's blood on his hands. So he kind of flies under the radar in the public consciousness as Manson family person. You're absolutely right with that, Capone. That is absolutely correct. And I think sometimes, for those who are not terribly familiar with the Manson case, a lot of it just gets lumped together, as the Manson family, and everybody's just lumped in one. So even those who were not at Cielo Drive, were not at the La Biancas, kind of still get that rap of being in the Manson family. And that you make a good point, when that's not necessarily the case for everyone. We got another cat. Let's see, who do we got now? We got Tuka. Tony Stewart saying, I hope he comes home. Agrees with you, Capone. Renee saying, honestly, with how people with how people that have done worse are getting out, he should probably get out. Yeah, Renee, that's a whole conversation in itself. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, the justice system is very flawed, and that's just putting it very simply. Because yeah, I don't understand it. I don't understand when you see some of the people based on the history of their crimes get out versus those who are still in. Sometimes it's a little much. Let's see. Russell saying California releases other murderers after 5 to 10 years. Bobby is being unfairly imprisoned. Again, yeah, going right off of what Renee was saying, that is you're absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on. And again, I'm not from California. I'm not as familiar with the legal system. Like, I don't know the ins and outs like a lot of you do. Like, Renee, who's from California, knows a lot more and has a lot more insight into that than I do. But again, outside looking in, as Russell points out, that's what we're seeing. That's some of what we're seeing too. And it's disheartening because it doesn't make sense. Bobby seems like the type who would write a book. Chris James, that's an excellent point. See, I would see him, and this is just my opinion, taking more of maybe like a music route. Like kind of expressing it through his music, not in like oh gosh, is this going to piss off a whole bunch of people? Not in like the Taylor Swift way of like where everything in her life based on like a certain album that is released at a certain time in history. But I could see Bobby where he comes from, that music background. If there was something to be told, I see it more from a music perspective rather than a book. And that's even if he wants to even talk to anybody, if he gets out. If Bobby gets out, that means Bruce should get out too. He did way less. I don't want any of them out though. James Watson, that is an excellent comment, because there's a lot of sides to this, and that comment just shows to me how fair you're being. You're being just very analytical of it in regards to, yes, I don't want any of them out. However, if you're looking at this, then you need to look at this as well. That is like one of the most, James, this comment, it just really, yeah, I'm very surprised. You're always cracking jokes left and right in the chat. This is just so well said. So thank you for that, James Watson. Maybe Bobby and Leslie can get married. Oh my, Renee, the world would end. The world would end. Let's see. Karen Diamonds, hello, welcome. I threaten society a couple of times a month and it just laughs at me. Well, excuse me. Hey, Camp Elasticity Productions. Hope you're doing good. So he might give an interview for money to retire on after prison. Thanks, Danny. Got a split. Get well soon. Have a great night. I'll be in touch. Thank you for popping in. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. Enjoy your evening. And yeah, we will definitely touch base soon. Karen says, hi, Danny. I live in Australia and we have huge fires, but this breaks my heart. Sending love from Australia. I hope you feel better soon. Much love. Thank you, Karen. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, what's going on in LA right now? No, absolutely. So thank you for that comment. Absolutely. Hello, Barb McCain. Welcome. Agreeing with Capone. Bobby will be too busy. Oh my God. See, that's what I get. That's what I get. I give you a compliment. And I'm like, wow, so well said. Then I get halfway through your next comment. And I'm like, nope. Yeah, Renee, absolutely. It just needs to be fair, and it isn't. It's definitely not. And it'd be one thing if we were comparing different states in regards to, sentencing, where you could see where it's like, okay, well, one state has totally different laws, and we see this all the time where, for example, a life sentence in one state and a life sentence in another mean two completely different things. So if we were talking about that, I could understand how it's like, gee, things aren't fair in the big picture. But this is when we look at just California, or just, crimes in LA and those who were sentenced in that particular area, where the laws apply to all of them the same. And it just doesn't, there's no rhyme or reason sometimes. And it's very frustrating. I know, every once in a while, give me a star. That, you know what? I thought of giving you a star then, but yeah. I know, Karen. That has been breaking my heart, because I've also been starting to see on Facebook, like kind of like the lost posters of some of the animals that are in that area. Oh my God, breaks my heart. Because y'all know I'm an animal rescue. So that stuff, it just, this whole thing is atrocious, and that just adds another level. Yes, my cats are doing well. Yeah, one of them was a little sick couple of weeks ago, just something little, and everything's back on track now. But, everybody's good. Everybody's good. It's just me who still sounds sick. He's something. K-Dog, he's something. I'll give you that much. Okay, back in regards to Bobby Bose, I let them all out and they can come over to my place and we'll have a barbecue, have a few beers. If you're hosting, I'll be there too. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really a beer drinker. I have like wine or sangria, and then I'm totally down. But yeah. Oh, Russell, I wasn't expecting that. That's funny. Hey, Bill, good to see you. Hope you're doing well, hun. I have not, but that is, what the hell? There's been a lot. Yeah. The whole talk about drones has been crazy, like crazy. And like, especially where I am, I mean, several hours from Jersey, but it's big talk over in that area because of that. So the world is sending get well messages. So cool. The world is sending get well. Oh, thank you, Tony. Thank you, Tony. I don't need the get well wishes, but it's very appreciated. It's very appreciated. So thank you. Hi, Tish. Good to see you. Do not apologize for being late. You are fashionably on time. Hey, Barb. Was it? I don't know. Okay. I think I'm up to date. Okay. I have heard that about Bobby's. Yeah. But I mean, again, he has been, found eligible or recommended for parole. So we'll see. I'm not really sure. Chris James. So Danny, do you think Bobby should be released? Okay. Y'all know, I'm the mean one. So over on the Paulcast Manson saga, where it was like me, Paul, and Beckham. It was just so funny because everybody, I feel like people were like, "Oh, Danny's the nice one," and I'm like, I'm the harsh one. From a perspective of somebody was murdered, should he be let out? I don't really necessarily agree with, I don't, and no. And I mean that as a blanket statement for everybody. However, the parole board has a job for a reason. And this does not affect me personally. It does not. So if a parole board reviews his file, his case, and says, yes, he's eligible, based on that, okay. I might not personally agree with it, but okay. I don't agree with the governor, Gavin Newsom, those who were in the same position before him, then being able to go in and kind of say, no, I reverse that, denied. I don't agree with that. I think if you have a parole board in place and that is their job to determine eligibility and suitability for parole, let them do their job. So on that case, based on what I said, the parole board found him eligible and recommended for parole. So, okay. I do not think he's a risk to society. I personally don't. If he moved in right next door to me, I would not feel unsafe at any point in time. So something to consider too. I know that was kind of a long kind of yes and no type answer. So I hope that answers your question, Chris James. It's complex. So I wanted to make sure I kind of addressed where those complexities lie for me. And I know weeks ago we've talked about with Beckham in regards to the whole Menendez brothers. And I think that's kind of lost its steam. And I honestly think they've lost as it's kind of faded. I think that momentum has kind of died down. I'm not quite sure they'll get out at this point, but I still stand by what I said with them too. The murder they committed against their parents, should they get out? In my opinion, no. However, if they were deemed eligible for parole, do I think they're a risk to society at this point? I don't. If they moved in near me, would I feel unsafe? No, I wouldn't. So yeah, that's kind of where I stand on that. Okay, glad it made sense. Thank you. Thank you. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. All right, now you guys are talking about Kenneth Anger. Danny, what if he wanted to come over and just hang out for a few? Well, okay, I'm not saying, yeah, be released, come, let's hang out. But I'm not saying that about other people too. Like, I'm just cool with the cats. No, I always joke with people. I'm like, I can't stand people. That's why I volunteer at a cat shelter, because that's where my emotions, that's where they go. But yeah, no, I feel the urge to, again, if I was ever in his presence, would I feel unsafe? No, I wouldn't. So, but would I be like, yeah, come on over, let's hang out? I would not. Hello, Chaos. I just said that totally weird. How you doing? Good to see you. Oh, James Watson. That would be a hell of a call to get. I think so. So yeah, that's kind of that in regards to Bobby Bose. Again, the decision does not need to be finalized until no later than June 6, 2025. So essentially we have several months to wait for a decision. I will keep you guys posted. And if you guys don't follow the Paulcast over on Instagram, definitely do so. Again, we don't really do, me, Paul, and Beckham, we have not done a live show in quite a bit, but that Instagram page, Paul is really, really good with constantly keeping that updated with news. So definitely make sure that you follow that. And again, we'll update it here too. So quickly, so we're just wrapping up on that chaos. I think the governor is going to block it. About 75% of me thinks the governor is going to block it, because Leslie Van Houten got out and has been keeping a low profile. I think she might have set a precedence that, hey, if they're released, they're not going to be a harm or a menace to society. But I wouldn't be surprised if Newsom blocked it. Newsom is going to be busy for 6 months. He may just ignore it. That's an excellent point. Renee, that's an excellent point too. I don't know. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. Definitely kind of as information comes out, we'll talk about it. So the next case to talk about tonight, when I saw this headline, I was like, oh my gosh, because I just recently did a show on this case with you guys. So Morgan Geyser. And if you're wondering why you might, that rings a bell, Slender Man. So yesterday, Morgan Geyser was granted an early release. So Morgan was one of the two girls who was involved in the Slender Man stabbing in May 2014. So I covered that episode. Definitely go back and check that out. I just recently did it sometime within the past couple of months, I want to say. So for those who aren't familiar with that case, so briefly, in 2014, Morgan, who was 12 at the time, and her friend Anissa Ware stabbed their friend Peyton Lautner 19 times. It is only by a miracle that Peyton survived that attack. So Morgan at the time, in regards to sentencing, was found not guilty by reason of mental disease in 2018. She was originally committed to a mental health institute for a maximum of 40 years of state mental health supervision. Morgan is now 22 years old. She was examined by 3 doctors in the last few months to determine if she's made enough progress to transition back into society. She's attempted to be released before, about a year ago, but that previous request was denied by a judge who cited her at the time as a significant threat. So this time, however, she has not been deemed a threat and is being granted an early release. So there will be a conditional release plan that will be developed. I have not seen one since this information broke yesterday. I've been trying to see if one gets posted online. I'm honestly not sure if that conditional release plan will be made public or not. I would like to see it just personally, just to see what something like that would entail. But we'll see if that happens. But other than that, yeah, Morgan Geyser granted an early release. So if you guys have any thoughts on this case, yeah, let me know. Definitely leave a comment here in the chat. If you're watching this on replay, leave a comment in the comment section. It is very interesting. And I know that anytime a crime involves a child, and when I say child, I mean somebody under the age of 18, it's a little bit of a slippery slope. We don't typically see cases where the child involved was the child committing the act. So in this case, Morgan and Anissa. So I know that adds a complex layer to it. Because again, Morgan was only 12 years old when she tried to kill her friend, when her and Anissa tried to kill their friend. So yeah, very, very interesting. Let's see where you guys are with the chat. Okay, so just a couple of wrap up points about Bobby Bose, but I want to make sure you guys, your thoughts are heard on that. K-Dog, with what's going on, letting him out wouldn't look good. Yeah, see, K-Dog, that's a good point too. I feel like you and Renee right now are making excellent points that it could literally go either way. I could see each of your points completely being a possibility. So I don't know. Yeah, Tony agrees. Renee, good point. James, I think he won't block it. He has his sights on the presidency, and letting Manson killers out won't hurt him in California. I mean, kind of as Renee said, I feel like with what's going on, like Bobby, if he decides to reverse Bobby Beausoleil in the parole recommendation, that's like the least of his worries right now in regards to Gavin Newsom. So I don't know. Let's see. Renee, in regards to Morgan, yeah, she's got that weird look like Gypsy Rose. James Watson, Morgan, she should be in prison or a prison mental hospital. I actually do agree with that. I agree with that. Chaos, no. Peyton survived. She was nearly dead, but she survived. And there's actually interviews with her online where you can kind of hear her talk about the attack. And in the interviews, she talks about actually how thankful she is, how it kind of made her into the person that she is now. She just has Peyton has a very positive outlook on life based on what happened and how good things have happened. It's just, what an amazing young woman. What an amazing young woman. But she did survive. She did survive. Morgan and Anissa leaving her, though, they left her to die. So it wasn't just like they left and, oh, what happens, happens. They left her to die and expected her to die, and she didn't. So, no, that girl, yeah, she was stabbed 19 times, yeah. PJ saying, I don't feel comfortable with her being released. Yeah, I see that. And that is definitely a concern. I'm not going to lie. That is one where, if I'm honest with myself and kind of, like I said, weighing out like, well, if this person was released, I know it's very easy to say, because it doesn't apply to a lot of us. These are not in our areas, but I try to put myself in the perspective of like, if they moved next door to me, if Morgan moved next door to me, would I feel safe? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't feel safe. So, and that's just me. But yeah, that's a whole nother side to it too, PJ. Chaos. I'd feel safer with Bobby out versus the kid that stabbed her friend. I agree with that. I think, yeah, there's more. Yeah, I would feel safer with Bobby out versus Morgan. But again, this was also a different state. So that is something to keep in mind too. One of the things that we talk about is the different states having different rules. And this was I remember the community Waukesha. Was it Waukesha? Was it Wisconsin? I'm blanking, but it was not California. So again, totally different kind of set of rules in regards to sentencing. And again, she was in a mental hospital. So, and it was going to be a maximum of 40 years. I don't think a lot of time it's been 10 years since the murder, or attempted murder, I should say, because again, Morgan was 12 at the time and now she's 22. So it's only been 10 years. So some could argue and look at it this way as, maybe you are okay with her being out, but she needs to serve more time first. That's something to look at too. I don't know. Lori Vallow had a status hearing today. She's trying hard to play lawyer. Oh, yeah. I saw a headline and I was like, I just don't have it in me. I don't have it in me to kind of follow up on Lori Vallow today. And I know that means I'm dropping the ball with you guys. But with that being said, had Beckham been able to be on tonight, I would have been like, Beckham, this is all you. This is all you. But yeah, I just didn't have it in me. I did not have, and I'm just going to say it's because I'm still sick. I'm blaming it on that. And I'm like, in my still slightly sick condition, I do not have it in me to think about Lori Vallow. I just don't. But yeah, Renee, message me later. Just update me. Tail end is in the middle. Indiana heading this way. Kind of breaking up. Okay. Gotcha. I feel safer with Bobby next door for sure. Yeah, chaos. I absolutely agree with that. Oh, okay. Yeah, you guys are talking sports. Okay. For a second, I'm like, wait, what? I thought we were talking about something. Never mind. All right. Yeah, you and totally fine. Russell, I am loving your comments tonight. I'm absolutely loving them tonight. I'm going to agree with you on that. I'm going to agree. Sorry, James. I'm with Russell on that one. Renee, you are the best. Thank you. Well, I do want to watch. I mean, let's be real. It's like, it's watching a train wreck. You want to look away, but you can't. I just didn't have it in me today. Like, I didn't have it in me. I was like, no, I can't. I just need to rest still. And Lori Vallow was not part of the rest plan. So. All right, guys. So guys, yeah, talk sports all you want in the chat. All good. I will not be a part of that. One, because I know nothing about it. And two, because I have no interest in it. But y'all feel free. And yeah, that is where Beckham is involved in sports tonight. That's why he couldn't be here tonight. So, but y'all know he's a big sports guy. So that is that. Renee. Okay. It is in my Amazon cart. It is in my Amazon cart for my next order. I have heard excellent things by that. So for those of you who are not sure what Renee is talking about, Ruby Frankie's daughter just put out a book. I didn't have it pulled up. I want to get the name for you guys. The House of My Mother, A Daughter's Quest for Freedom by Sherry Frankie. So that just got published January 7th. So just 3 days ago. That is in my Amazon cart to order in my next purchase. I assure you, I have heard wonderful things about the book, that it is very excellently written. So I do look forward to reading that. And yeah, I'm glad that you thought it was good. So if that is something that you guys are interested in, definitely, yeah, check out that book. So I am super, super excited to get my hands on it. I will say, and I have told you guys, that I have a stack of books behind me that I've read all of them. And I keep kind of, yeah, I'll do a book review later. I'll do a book review. No, later. No more later. No more later. I'm going to be doing a lot more book reviews. And I have the stack of books over there. It's kind of cut off camera. Are books that I got for my birthday and for Christmas. I have not read them. I'm like, no, I'm not going to read them until I work through doing book reviews for you guys on the stack of books I get. That's the only way to keep me from just letting the pile behind me just like get out of control. So yes, that is my plan. And there will be a book review. I don't think I'll be able to do one next week. I'm not even sure I'll be able to do a show next week, to be perfectly honest. It is my dance show weekend. In leading up, I have every single night. Yeah, we go hard before shows. So I don't have like a single night free. So we'll see. We'll see what I can do. But yeah. But I am looking forward to the next book review I have. My notes are done. Stay tuned to see what that is. And that will be do a show. Forget the dance. No, I'm actually one of the choreographers this season. So I'm very excited to not only perform with my dance company, but to showcase the piece that I did. So I picked a very kind of emotional piece to do, and I'm very excited for it. Yeah. I'm just so excited. So excited. It's definitely come together in the best way possible. My dancers are amazing. So yeah, we'll see. And that's another thing too, being one of the choreographers, like there's more meetings and more like just more behind the scenes things that you got to do. So I can't just kind of like show up, do my thing and leave. Like, no, there's extra stuff I got to do, but well worth it. Hey, Auntie Mimi, good to see you. Let's see. Oh my God, Tish. I am a self-proclaimed book nerd. I have so many books to review for you guys. So yeah, make sure you don't miss any. I have a lot in the works. I really enjoy the book reviews. Thank you. They're honestly like my favorite thing to do. Like I love researching the cases when y'all recommend a case, especially one where I haven't heard it. It's new for me to kind of research it and learn all the details about it. But the book review, I'm a book nerd. I love it. Absolutely love it. And you guys seem to definitely like those as well. Like get really involved in that. And yeah, so expect more. Expect a lot more book reviews in 2025. I assure you. James Watson, that is not nice. Do No and no. All right. Oh my God, James Watson. It totally should. It totally should. It should be illegal. All right. All right. So 2 more cases to update with you guys. One of them is a little bit longer, so I'll save that for the end. So Karen Reed, let's just kind of get that update out of the way. So in regards to what has happened recently, Trooper Proctor, he was the lead Massachusetts State Police investigator in the Karen Reed trial. Well, he could now face, quote, permanent discipline, end quote. So for those of you who are familiar with the case, you know Trooper Proctor was the lead investigator on the stand who had to read all of his text messages, and yeah, horrible. And in regards to how he handled the case and the evidence and all, again, horrible. So quick reminder, Karen Reed. Yeah. So within hours of Karen Reed's mistrial this summer, Trooper Proctor was relieved from duty and transferred out of the detective unit of the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office. He was later suspended without pay, and he has remained suspended without pay still. He is next scheduled to appear before a Massachusetts State Police Trial Board on January 15th, so next week. Proctor faces, quote, allegations of misconduct in the performance of his duties as a uniformed member of the Massachusetts State Police, end quote. The DA's office is under court order to provide updates about Proctor's discipline to the court and to Karen Reed's defense. So we'll keep y'all posted on Trooper Proctor. I would not be surprised if he got that permanent discipline. I feel like he's definitely made to be the one to take the brunt of what happened in the mishandling of this case. As he should. However, I think there are many, many, many other officers involved in this that should have been disciplined more and were not. I think most of the focus was just put on Trooper Proctor, and it should have gone to others in addition, in my opinion, but we'll see. Books rule. I worked in libraries for 20 years. Talk about a dream, Tish. Oh my God. I used to hang out at the local library when the internet was new, free internet. Tony Stewart. I used to do that when I was, oh my God, when I was like middle school-ish. Yeah, there was a library near me, and like me and a couple of friends would just like walk there, and we would just go online, because that was also when because you didn't have to sign in or anything. And at the time, now it's totally different, but at the time you could also use the printer and just print anything you wanted, and it was free. So like I would just like go and research whatever I wanted and then like print it. And yeah, it was just like, that's just kind of what you did. But absolutely, Tony, I am right there with you. Yep, did the same thing. Tish loved the library. My 13-year-old did a video by Renee, I'm starring that. I love that. And okay, no, we need to also star Tish's comment too, because yes, we love that. Tish, I love that. And Renee, oh my God, that's amazing. Your 13-year-old. I don't know why I just said daughter. Your 13-year-old. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Trooper Proctor he is not going to be called in, definitely by the state, in regards to Karen Reed's retrial. We'll see how, from what I've heard, they're not planning on calling anybody who worked the case in the first round. And it's like, doesn't that speak for itself? Everybody who handled the case and handled it, like who basically fucked it up, you're just like, yeah, we just won't call any of them. Like, how do you think that's going to work? Blows my mind. I'm going to get through the comments with y'all, but we're not done. There's still more on Karen Reed updates. We're not done. Tish is saying, support your local public library. They have lots of things to borrow that aren't even book. You can, yes, you are spot on. You can even, I have some friends whose kids will like rent, like, I say rent, like video games. They have like video games and stuff there now, which I was never a gamer, but for those growing up who are now, games are expensive, and that's just a way to like try a bunch. So yeah, Tish, absolutely. Absolutely. We're giving that a star. You can even check out audiobooks from the library now. Yeah, that's cool. That is awesome. It seems odd they can bring in an outside. Yeah. Yeah, K-Dog, that's definitely been, I think that shows a lot in regards to not, how do I want to word this? Not having full faith in your own team and wanting to bring in others. Is there anything wrong with kind of wanting to build the best team? No, but I think it's just, oh man, it's like this whole thing put a spotlight on how corrupt and incompetent and, if cover up was done, with whatever way you side with that. I know not everybody agrees with all of those points. I'm just putting all of them out there because it has to be one of them. It can't not be one of them. So to like, I get why the state's like, we're going to retry her, but like, okay, so you're going to do that and highlight all of the incompetencies again. All right, round 2. No, I didn't. I'm like thinking back, like, what did I like look up back? I can't even remember, so long. Yeah, we enjoy giving each other a hard time. Absolutely. Absolutely, Tony Stewart. Oh my gosh, Tish, absolutely. That first trial was a mess. People never go twice, 100%. A short, funny library story. A youngster, let's date yourself, Tony Stewart. A youngster asked a librarian to come into his computer and he was having trouble with security, and he left a form with them. That's not funny. That's horrible. I thought you were going to say like he was having trouble and it turns out like he didn't even like put the power button on or something. Tony, that is horrible. Horrible. So yes, there is more Karen Reed news update. So what we've been seeing, and this is actually part 2 of what's been going on. So Dr. Marie Russell. So she was a key defense expert in the Karen Reed first trial. She has been in court again. And this has been due to a hearing to decide whether her testimony will be permitted in the upcoming second trial. So prosecutor Hank Brennan, the new prosecutor that was just brought on, as we were just talking about, is asking the judge to bar Dr. Marie Russell from the second trial. The Commonwealth is arguing that Reed's defense team failed to prove that Dr. Russell was an expert in canine bites and claw marks. Prosecutor Hank Brennan argued that Dr. Russell's opinion changed over time and she had no methodology to support her claims. So Dr. Russell is a retired emergency room doctor and medical doctor for a prison in California. She maintained that Officer John O'Keefe's injuries, quote, parallel marks, end quote, were caused by the teeth or claws of a large dog. Quote, no car accident scenario could create that configuration of the wounds on the arm, end quote. Reed's newest attorney, Robert Alessi, argued that Dr. Russell's expertise was, in fact, sound, and asked why the prosecution hasn't produced its own expert to counter her claims. Quote, her credentials are enormous. Her experience is enormous. She has been truthful, end quote. So and you can go back and find this on YouTube if you did want to watch it. It is quite long with her, but she takes no shit from Hank Brennan. She takes no shit. And when he is making these questions about her and her credibility, in her experience on the stand, like he's very condescending, I'll say. she just goes right back and she just like, I'm sorry, but I find that insulting. I find what you said insult. Like, she just doesn't sit there and take it. And I'm just like, oh, damn, go girl. But yeah, she again highlights where her expertise in this lies. And last week, the state also asked the judge to block the okay. This one is, I mean, both things are being widely talked about here right now, but this one. So last week, the state also asked the judge to block the proposed testimony of Richard Green, founder of United States Forensics, who analyzed the cell phones belonging to Karen Reed, John O'Keefe, and Jen McCabe. So he testified in the first trial that Jen McCabe's phone was used to search Google for, quote, "How's long to die in cold," end quote, at 2:27 a.m. The state wants that alleged Google search and testimony about any deletion of data from Jen McCabe's phone to be excluded. Shocker. Judge Beverly Cannoni set a hearing about that witness for January 31st. So the trial as of now is still set to begin on April 1st. That could change. We will see. But yeah, in regards to the prosecution wanting Jen McCabe's search phone records to be deleted, or sorry, in the messages that she deleted as well to be blocked. I'm like, ooh, they are, yeah, because that's a big piece of damning evidence against the state is that search. And I know there's been a lot of, depending on what side you're on, there are some people who believe, yes, she made that search. And then some that, based on what the prosecution put forward in regards to that search was, well, no, it wasn't made at that time. That was just a window that she, like on her phone that she already had pulled up, that she used that window around, I'm blanking the exact time and I know it in my head, in the morning when they found John in the, out in the snow, that's the time that she really searched that particular house, long to die in cold. But since she did it on the page she looked up at 2:27 a.m., that's why it's tagging that time. We'll see. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I don't know which way this will go in regards to whether these two things will be kind of blocked from trial. And again, this is all so public. And I know when a jury's selected, they're asked, in regards to anything that we've heard, like, can you be fair and impartial and so on and so forth. And I get that. And there will be people that can do that. But again, like everything that we heard here, like how is she, I can't imagine a jury of 12 finding her guilty, like based on everything that we know. I don't know. All right, let's go back to y'all's comments so I don't miss anything. Tish says, I'm not a fan of Hank. Yeah. I was honestly a little bit impartial. Like I didn't care either way, but I will say based on, and I know he's just doing his job. I get that. But based on how he was speaking to Dr. Marie Russell, again, I found it very condescending. And I was like, there's ways to prove your point without being that way, I believe. But yeah, I was not a fan of that. Sounds like something I would have done, but I didn't want to get banned. Some of the stuff that's being tested with AI is frightening. K-Dog, that's a whole conversation in itself. Yeah. Oh, sorry I missed this when you typed it. Bye, Russell. Have a good evening. Karen says, Danny, when you kill another person, sentencing you will be the term of their natural life. You would all be shocked at some of the shit library workers have to navigate on the regular, and good library workers don't read on the job. I am sure that you have a million stories. I am absolutely sure. K-Dog. It's Friday night. Calm down. Calm down. Tish, our local library is great. They let teens volunteer there. I'm hoping my kiddo can do that. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Volunteering, kids volunteering is amazing. It's absolutely amazing no matter what they do. I think it definitely, it's just, you don't see it as much now. And speaking for, I mean, again, you all know I do animal rescue. When our shelter gets teens or kids that want to volunteer, oh my God, it's like, it really makes me so happy and so emotional because like they're the future generation of rescue work. So yeah, and it's awesome when like even like kids schools do, you know, fundraisers and stuff for the shelter. It's amazing. I love it. Love it. Love it. So, but any volunteering kids do. And yeah, I'm also a book nerd. So to say like, yeah, you hope your kid can volunteer at a library. Yes, love that idea. Love that. That's the least shocking thing I think I've heard all night. Our library had a teen problem for a while and had to hire private security. I don't know what you mean by teen problem. I'm guessing you mean teens going and like causing issues though. Yeah. Yep. Oh, 100%. And I'm going to star that, Tish. Oh, wait, why didn't it star? There we go. All right. So let's get to the last case of the night. Oh, quickly, what are you saying, Renee? My husband was blown away that I taught him the Dewey Decimal classification. Oh, my God. Renee is like an expert in everything. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Oh, for Christ's sakes, James. All right, the last case of the night. And I will say, I have a decent amount of notes on it, only because I thought it was necessary, because we have not talked about it here. So if this is one case where you guys already have heard about it, then my apologies. And again, even the notes that I have here are like compacted just to like give like the briefest kind of overview of it. And if you're saying, Danny, what are you talking about? The Pike County Massacre. So that has been back in the news as of this past week. But there's a lot to it, and I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an overview. So in 2016, the murder of 8 family members in a small community in Ohio happened while they slept. The victims were Christopher Rodden Sr., 40 years old, Clarence Frankie Rodden, 20 years old, Dana Lynn Rodden, 37 years old, Gary Rodden, 38 years old, Hannah Mae Rodden, 19 years old, Hannah Giley, sorry, I'm horrible with last name pronunciations, 20 years old, Kenneth Rodden, 44 years old, and Christopher Rodden Jr., 16 years old. So again, ages ranging from 16 to 44 years old. 8 family members murdered while they slept in 2016. They were all shot and killed in or near their 4 homes. So they were not all in the same home. That is something to keep in mind. Yes. Yep. So I remember this, Danny followed this off and on. Yes, Tony, same. So the children. So Frankie's 3-year-old son and Frankie and Hannah's baby, who were likely nursing at the time, survived. Though first responders, when they came to the scene, said that the baby was covered in blood. So Hannah Rodden's 2-year-old daughter was with Jake Wagner. Jake was the father. He was staying at a different location. She was found unharmed, the daughter. So Jake Wagner, we're going to come back to that name. So in 2018, 4 members of an associated family were arrested and charged with the murders. And I know I'm skipping over a whole bunch of stuff that happened in between. Definitely, if this is something you're interested in, go check that out because that's a whole thing in itself. But again, 2018, 4 members of the associated Wagner family were arrested and charged with the murders. George, also known as Billy Wagner, Angela Wagner, his wife, and their 2 sons. So another George Wagner, and then Edward Jake Wagner. So for simplicity, husband and wife, Billy and Angela, their 2 sons, George and Jake. Again, Jake is the father of a child here involved with Hannah Rodden. So they all faced charges, including 8 counts each of aggravated murder, as well as charges of conspiracy, tampering with evidence, and aggravated burglary. Other family members have also been charged with acts to cover up the crimes. But I'm not going to get too much into that, but there have been other charges with that you can find out about. So investigators said that the Wagner family, which was a longtime friend of the Roddens, were in a custody dispute over Hannah and Jake's then 2-year-old daughter. So according to documents, the Rodden family said the Wagners tried to get Hannah to sign away her parental rights over to Jake Wagner weeks before the massacre, but she would not do so. The Wagner family denied that they had any knowledge of why anyone who would invade the Roddens' homes did so or would kill them as well. So the youngest son, Jake Wagner, eventually pled to a deal to avoid the death penalty. So the deal that he made was to plead guilty to 23 counts, including 8 counts of aggravated murder for the massacre of the Rodden family. Jake also pled guilty to felony, and this is a whole long list here, felony conspiracy, aggravated burglary, unlawful possession of a dangerous ordinance, tampering with evidence, forgery, unauthorized use of property, interception of wire and oral communications, obstruction of justice, engaging in a pattern of corrupt activity, as well as unlawful sexual conduct with a minor, Hannah Mae Rodden, who was 13 when their relationship began. So, seriously? Oh my gosh, chaos. You got a lot to research. So, Jake Wagner's deal also included an agreement that would allow Angela Wagner, his father, Billy Wagner, and then other brother George to avoid the death penalty. However, Jake would have to testify at each of their trials. So in September 2021, after Jake pled guilty, his mother, Angela, pled guilty to conspiracy to commit aggravated murder, along with burglary, evidence tampering, and other charges. In exchange for her plea, prosecutors dropped aggravated murder charges against her and recommended that she serve a 30-year prison sentence. Another caveat to that was Angela's agreement included that she had to testify against the remaining defendants. Oh my God, PJ, yes. Yes, 100%. So George Billy Wagner, so the father, and then Jake's brother, George IV, maintain their innocence. So September 2022, the oldest son, so George IV, Jake's brother, was the first one to stand trial. He was indicted on 22 counts, including 8 counts of aggravated murder, 4 counts of aggravated burglary, 3 counts of tampering with evidence, 1 count of conspiracy, 1 count of unlawful possession of dangerous ordinance. There's more, folks. 1 count of forgery, 1 count of unauthorized use of computer or telecommunications, 1 count of interception of wire oral electronic communications, 1 count of obstructing justice, and 1 count in engaging in a pattern of corrupt activity. So witnesses at the trial described Jake as an older abusive boyfriend who tried to control Hannah. Prosecutors at George IV's trial, so Jake's brother, said the dispute over Hannah and Jake's daughter was the motive behind the murders. So again, brother George was found guilty of all charges, including 8 counts of aggravated murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole. He was also sentenced on counts of conspiracy, aggravated burglary, and tampering with evidence. Those sentences, however, ranged from just 10 months to 8 years. So again, these are long sentences when you put them all together. Little bit more. But I just want to make sure I'm caught up with you guys on this chat. Wacky Jackie. Hello. Welcome. Okay, so okay, looks like chaos. So welcome. Dad still has to go to trial. Yes, Tony Stewart. Yes. Yep, I'm going to get to that in a second, but thank you. You are absolutely right. Danny, you've done some good research. Well, thank you. I could have added like 10 more pages of notes to this. It's just there's so much, but I feel like for me to give the update of what's going on now, I kind of had to go back to give you guys just a little bit because otherwise I don't think it would have made a lot of sense. But Wacky is my bestie, Danny. Well, Wacky needs a wrench then. Hey, Kat. I was glued to that trial. I'm going to definitely. Oh my God, chaos. Yes, you absolutely have to. All right, Wacky Jackie. Okay, you need a wrench. The wrench, for those who do not know, is great in regards to like, as we're kind of chatting about stuff now, if there's any links or anything for any articles that you guys want to post and share, you can only do that with a wrench. So hope that's helpful. But all right, you should be all set. Barb says, I was born and raised in Ohio, now live in Plainfield, Indiana. Ohio here. Yes, so then you're definitely familiar with that one too. Oh, you are so welcome. Okay. All right. So just to go back and update. So in regards to the mom, Angela Wagner, so she was sentenced to the mutually agreed upon sentence of 30 years with 2,244 days for time served. So she must register also as a violent offender for 10 years once she is released. So again, quick reminder, Jake was the only one to plead guilty to murder to get the death penalty thrown out. He was sentenced to 8 life sentences. So in regards to what happened this week, this is one where I would suggest, if you want to watch what happened in court. You can find it on YouTube. It's very emotional, but I think it really gives a lot perspective to it. Just quickly see some Ohio connections here. The Dayton Daily News done a story this week on Pete Rose Dayton. Okay, interesting. One of my cats is playing with a toy like right over there. So if that audio is picking up on here, then my apologies. So, okay, this week, so the judge surprised the court when they gave Jake the opportunity for parole because he cooperated with investigators. If he's released, he would also have to register as a violent offender and a sex offender. So when this played out in court, again, very emotional, very emotional. So Jake turned and spoke to the victim's family members in court. He said he was sorry for what he did, but wasn't sorry he got caught. He told them he prays for them all. Again, just kind of hearing me say it, I don't think it gives enough context. I think you have to watch him say it and hear how he says it. I don't know. It didn't fully register with me, not gonna lie. But some of the family members of the victims actually just walked out of court during his speech. Angela spoke and apologized, and she said she's not the woman she was then. Her attorney said she's been mentoring women in jail. Yeah. I did not like that. It's just one of those like, what kind of a sentence is that? No one is the same person that they are over time. Like, yes, there are qualities that like kind of stick with you for your life. Those like, little things. I can make a statement. I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago. I'm not the same person I was 10, 15, 20 years ago. That doesn't mean you get to erase all your wrong and bad doings. Like, okay, so she's been mentoring women in jail. If she really has, and it's with good intention, then that's great. Have her keep doing that behind bars. I don't like, it makes me very angry. Y'all know I'm the mean one that like, oh, stay in jail, keep them in jail. But if they're genuinely like turned around and doing good, what then have them keep doing that in prison. What it doesn't, I don't like when it's almost used as like leverage, or it seems like it's being used as leverage. Well, like, see, she's a good person. Look at what she's doing. Like, no, you don't always have to advertise the good you're doing to prove you're a good person. I don't know. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. But that was me. To carry on, family members of the Runs were there and had the opportunity to speak. And I do have some quotes from that. So Danny mean? Never. I'm giving you a star for that. I wish I could give you 10 stars for that because Richard, you are so spot on. And hey, hon, how you doing? Hope you're doing good. Hey, Todd. Welcome back from work. Glad you have the rest of your evening. Thank you for agreeing with that. Yeah, Any Danny's cats come over and lay them up. Oh, yeah. Well, Leia was in here earlier, and I thought for sure she was gonna just mess everything up, but she didn't. I bet the Ohio prisoners would love Danny if she came for a visit. I would be so hated. Yeah. My big mouth would get me in trouble. But I feel like when you're from Boston, your big mouth gets you in trouble a lot. Yeah. All right. So some of the comments that were made in regards to the victim's family members speaking. Quote, "You killed your granddaughter's mother," end quote. Another quote, "You're evil. You're evil. You're the spawns of Satan, and Satan is Billy Wagner. You're the evilest mother to help that man take the lives of 3 other mothers," end quote. Yeah. Hey, Beckham. So, as Tony Stewart pointed out earlier, so George Billy Wagner, so the father, his trial is set for 2025. And he had a pretrial hearing recently. The judge heard arguments on evidence and the death penalty. He is the last of the 4 family members that faces charges in the case. His trial will be moved out of Pike County, which is, again, a small rural community that is intimately familiar with the case. So what is my cat doing? I just threw a lot of information at you guys about this case, so that has been the update. I will, of course, keep you posted in regards to the father, Billy Wagner's trial, when that is set to happen. I think we kind of safe to say how we think that will kind of go, at least for me. What I didn't get, though, was in regards to the research and the notes saying that the judge will hear arguments. I get it on the evidence, but on the death penalty. Because if we go back to Jake confessing, again, Jake was the father of the child with Hannah. So where is it? Yeah, so part of his deal included an agreement that will allow Angela Wagner, his father, George Billy Wagner, and then his brother, George Wagner IV, to avoid the death penalty. So that was part of the deal. So then now to have the father kind of possibly, the judge hearing arguments on the death penalty. I don't know if that's just standard procedure. It could very well be, but I was kind of like, wait a minute. Part of Jake's coming clean, I guess, if you will, and taking accountability is that not being followed through on? I don't know. I was just kind of confused by that. So that is the last update I have for you guys on this case. So, and the last update I have for you guys on, news for this week. Shout out massholes. Yes, thank you. I take that as a compliment. You go through several times a year. Okay. Okay, yeah, you guys are just kind of giving in a little bit of where you guys are all from. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so winding it down for tonight. So, like I said, in regards to next week, kind of based on timing and everything with my dance show, I'm just like not home. So I'll have to see if I can even just like post or upload something. I will see. No promises. For tomorrow night, so Saturday the 11th, there will be, again, it will be live. Author Tony Wright will be on with me for this channel. We'll be talking about the book, about the Yuba County Five. I did a full book review on that several months back, but he'll be on to talk about that. I'm really excited to do that. So if you guys have questions on that case or questions about the book, definitely make sure to be there. So again, that will be live tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern. So other than that, everybody enjoy the rest of your evening and the rest of your weekend. Until next time, remember, we don't live in darkness. Darkness lives in us. Bye.